Southbay Pavilion is a shopping mall in Carson, California that opened in 1972. Were you a kid, teenager, adult, parent, or grandparent living in Southern California and would frequent those malls in your area? Were you a mall rat like me where you spent your formative years people watching, socializing, or shopping at those iconic malls? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and relive those moments of yesteryears. So let's take a deep dive into the history of that mall in your neighborhood. Please leave a comment or a memory of this mall and stay tuned until the end. I want to see if you were paying attention to my video. Thanks. The area known as Carson was incorporated as a city in 1968. Compare that to Carson's neighbor to the east, Long Beach, which was incorporated almost a century earlier in 1888, or to its neighbor to the west, Torrance, which became a city in 1921. In 1968, the infant city had 76 junkyards, almost 24 former landfills, and several oil refineries that marred the landscape. Their area was known as the garbage can of Los Angeles County. Much of the city flooded during the rains. It was a zoning mess. One of the city's first accomplishments was the construction of the Carson Mall in 1972. The 1 million square foot single level mall was built on 73 acres of land, which is now located off the 405 freeway on Avalon Boulevard. The mall development was announced in 1972 with the participation by JCPenney, Sears, the Broadway, and J.J. Newberry 5 and Dime stores. In 1983, Chuck E. Cheese was added to the mall. In 1985, Toys R Us was added. It was the first Toys R Us to be located in a shopping mall. The mall was sold to Macerich in 1987 and to McDonald Group only 5 months later. Although it was renovated in the late 1980s and early 1990s, including the addition of public restrooms, Big Five sporting goods, and a food court, it continued to have low traffic and vacancies. If you went to this mall in the 80s, you may have remembered Time Out Arcade, as well as shopping at Newberry's. In 1991, the Broadway closed. That same year, the Carson City Council approved a financing package that would allow IKEA to move into the space being vacated by the Broadway. Also, the mall was renamed Southbay Pavilion. By the early 1990s, the grand opening, after several months of renovation, marked what developers and city officials hoped would be a turning point in the troubled history of the mall, which by that time had struggled to make a profit in the 18 years that it had been open. The mall received a floor-to-ceiling makeover, gone with the dark 1970s style decorations. An LA Times stated, "It is now in typical Southern California mall fashion, awash in pastels and neon, with skylights everywhere." Sometime in the late 1990s, Newberry closed. Toys R Us closed its store in 2002, and Target replaced the Toys R Us. In May of 2003, the mall was sold to Hopkins Real Estate of Newport Beach. Renovation plans began on the mall. 24-Hour Fitness also opened on an out parcel. Other additions included Old Navy and a relocation of Big Five. In 2005, Chuck E. Cheese made a remodel. Vintage Real Estate purchased the mall in 2009. In May of 2013, it was confirmed that Cinemark would be opening a movie theater within the mall. As a result, Old Navy was relocated and Chuck E. Cheese replaced the oldest Old Navy store on January 5th, 2014, relocated from the store nearby lot. In May of 2015, the state-of-the-art 13-screen Cinemark Theaters opened its doors at Southbay Pavilion. Following this great achievement, Kay Jewelers opened its doors in 2015, and Sephora inside JCPenney opened in May of 2016. In June of 2016, a press release was published by KTGY Architecture and Planning, unveiling the $28 million expansion for the Southbay Pavilion with Forever 21's F21 Red, which opened in early 2017. In July of 2017, Sears closed. Subway, that had been there for years, had vacated. Typical mall eats like Panda Express, hot dog on a stick, Charlie's Philly cheesesteaks occupy the little interior food court. Spread out at the outdoor sections of the mall and beyond on their own are Tony Roma's, Olive Garden, Norm's, Chili's, Five Guys, Sansei, and Panera. Portions of the building became Ross Dress for Less in Burlington, while the former Auto Center became Chipotle Mexican Grill, Smash Burger, and Jersey Mike's. Popular Southbay Pavilion stores include Children's Place, Rue 21, Chic Shoes, Daniel's Jewelers, Big Five Sporting Goods, Old Navy, and Beauty Lounge and Spa, which recently opened a second store called Brow Lash Studio. The mall serves a pool of 2.5 million residents and is in the center of the region with a daily workforce of about 150,000 people, according to mall representatives. There are about 600,000 residents living within a 5-mile square radius of the mall, and the average household income is nearly $70,000. In 2021, a portion of the 1.1 million square foot Southbay Pavilion in Carson, California, included an IKEA, which was sold to a New York investor and developer, Atlas Capital Group. The regional mall is anchored by Target, IKEA, JCPenney, the newly opened 13-screen Cinemark Theater, and 84 specialty stores and restaurants, including other significant national retailers. The 200-seat food court features many of the most popular family restaurants in addition to the exterior restaurants such as Olive Garden, Buffalo Wild Wings, Chili's, Panera Bread, Five Guys Burgers, Wingstop, Chuck E. Cheese, and Pieology. Congratulations, you made it this far into the video.
When I find you.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
So let's see how close you were paying attention to my video. So how many anchor stores closed in this mall? So if your answer is 3, give yourself a hand. You were paying attention. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.